Hi guys, how are you doing? This is Sebastian from TechCentury, and if you followed the channel recently, you know that I'm a big fan of solutions that retrofit your car with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And I'm super excited to share with you guys that I've found a new system that's quite amazing. And this is this new 9-inch system by Carpuride. And without spoiling too much, this is a huge upgrade over their 7-inch version and a huge improvement. And it has one specific feature in particular that you won't find anywhere else that's super useful, especially at night. But now let's take a closer look. So here we see the box of the system. The version that I have right here is the 901 Black. One thing that I don't like is that it says 1080p touchscreen on the side of the packaging, even though the resolution of the screen is 1024 by 600, which is also clearly stated on Amazon and their website though. First off, we'll get to the mounting options. First, we have this little articulating arm right there, which you can mount to either the top of your dashboard or your windscreen with the suction cup at the bottom. This is a very nice and convenient way to mount the system in your car, and in my wife's Transit, this is the best solution for it. Now, of course, it's a little bit bulky, but we'll see a different solution later. This is the aux cable that's included to connect the system and the audio to your in-car stereo. And then, of course, we also have the power supply with the cigarette lighter adapter on the other side. Moving on, we then have the second mounting option, and this is a very compact mounting bracket that you can stick to the top of your dashboard if your dashboard allows it. Unfortunately, in the Transit of my wife, the dashboard is very rounded, so you can't really get a good grip there, which is why we used the arm instead. Then we also have this little mounting plate to stick to the top of your dashboard so that the suction cup just holds on really well. And then we get, of course, to the star of the show, which is the system itself. Now here we see that on the back there's not really much except for the points for the mounting bracket. On the front we have the huge display, and especially if you have a large car with a large windscreen, I think the 9-inch size is excellent and a great choice for it. At the top we then see that we have the power on and off switch. On the other side there's not really much. The same goes for the bottom as well, and then we have all of the other ports on the other side. So here we have the power input, a USB port for wired connection for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, AV out, cam in if you want to add a rear camera. We have a micro SD card slot and the aux output to connect it to your in-car stereo. On the rear we then also have the light sensor, which then allows for automatic brightness adjustment of the system, which is very convenient, especially at night. So here we are now sitting in my wife's 2014 Ford Transit, and as you can see, it has something that you could call an infotainment display or system right there, but with this tiny display it certainly can't work with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and this is why we desperately needed a new solution here with this Carpuride system. Now, one thing that is a bit of a challenge in this car is that the cigarette lighter always has power, not only when the ignition is started, and this is why we have to plug in the Carpuride system manually every time, and I'm doing this right now so that you can see how long it takes the system to boot up. So here we can already see the start screen of the display. So after plugging it in, it only takes 1 or 2 seconds, and then we see the main menu right there. Now I have my iPhone 13 Pro here by my side on the other seat, and it will now wirelessly connect, and you can see right there that this was a super fast, easy and convenient process. Now here we have the main interface of wireless Apple CarPlay, so I'm not plugged in. We see the Apple Maps on the left side, then on the right side we see some of my favorite destinations, as well as also of course Apple Music, and then the calendar reminder that I'm filming this Carpuride system video today. So of course we can then head into Maps to get a full screen view, or we can also head on out to get to the other apps as well. And now this was my Apple Watch, which wanted to find something that I didn't ask her for. And here we then of course have all the other apps. So no matter if you want to use navigation apps, apps like Vero, social media, WhatsApp, it's all possible here on this display, and that's super nice. Now, one thing that I really want to stress here is that the quality of the panel of the display itself is really good, and a huge improvement over the 7-inch Carpuride system that I had in the past. So if I just move around here, you can see that the viewing angles of this display are really good. And especially if we then, for example, move to Google Maps, this is where I had a big issue on the 7-inch Carpuride system, because the roads around you just weren't really visible. And this is no issue here at all, and I absolutely love this display. Now, one thing that you'll already have seen in the unboxing part is that there is an ambient light sensor on the back of this system, and this is super convenient at night, and just something that I wish that all of these systems had. I have a road top 8.8-inch system in my own car, and unfortunately it's missing the ambient light sensor, and that's really a shame. Now, if we just move around here, you can see that the performance itself is quite good, especially if you consider that this actually is wireless CarPlay. Now, as you can see, there is no multi-touch support. So, for example, if you want to just zoom in or zoom out the map, then you have to do this with the button. So, unfortunately, there is no multi-touch support. But to be honest, for me, this isn't an issue at all, because you don't really manually use the map all that often. But overall, I can just say the performance is absolutely amazing. The display is great, and I think also the size is quite nice, especially if you're in such a large car like the Ford Transit, which really has a huge windscreen. Then having a 9-inch system is very nice. Now, if we move around here a little bit, one thing that I also want to stress is that you have this hover button right here, and this can allow you to adjust the volume, for example, of the built-in speaker of the system, or also go to the main home screen. You can also do this by touching the car home button right here, but it's just nice that you have this button right here that you can move wherever you want, and here in this position on CarPlay, it's just the perfect fit. So now let's actually do this. Go to the home menu, and then you can see some of the options that you have right here. So up here, this icon means that we are currently connected wirelessly to Apple CarPlay, and this is also the icon that you see right here. So it's not saying CarPlay, but it's saying iPlay. Android Auto is right here, which I'll show you in a minute. Then there's AirPlay right here. So yes, you can also use this system as an AirPlay display. But I've tried with my iPhone 13 Pro and it didn't really work that well. Sometimes I only had a black screen and audio playing, but no video. So not sure about that, but honestly, I wouldn't want to do that in my car anyways. Then we have Auto Link, which I think is something along the lines of Mirror Link. Then we have the equalizer right here, where we can just really adjust everything about the EQ. Personally, didn't have the need to do that. We have Bluetooth right here, which I can't access right now because I'm connected over Wi-Fi to it. We have USB, so if you want to play music from USB or a card, you can do that. We have the FM transmitter, and then we also have the settings panel right here. Here we just have some main settings, like for example, if the device speaker is turned on, if you have a right-hand drive car, to reset to factory settings, if you want to, for example, connect wirelessly to Apple AirPlay or something else, to MirrorLink, for example, and then just some general settings right here. Now, if I remember correctly, you can also connect a backup camera, but it's not in the package that you purchase on Amazon, for example. So here we then move on, and basically here I'll just show you the last few things. So here you can adjust the volume, for example, of the built-in speaker. Here you can adjust the brightness, which is really nice. So I can show you that there's a huge range of brightness available, and this is the button where you then turn on the automatic brightness. Here you can change the background images, not really a huge difference if you ask me, and then we have a help icon right here. So now I've disconnected my iPhone 13 Pro and have connected my OnePlus 9 Pro, and there you can see that we have wireless Android Auto. Now this is even the brand new version with the brand new interface, which I'm a huge fan of. And I have to say, overall, Android Auto actually works better here on this Carpuride system than it does on my road top system in my own car, because there I have the issue that the music just randomly stops playing all the time when I connect with Spotify, but this isn't an issue right here. I'm also a big fan of this redesign of Android Auto, having the split screen view and then also the taskbar with the latest used apps down there. So of course we can then easily switch, for example, to the phone or to Spotify right here, and then of course we have a full screen view of the app, and then we can choose the music that we want to listen to. Now this brand new view that you see right here unfortunately isn't supported in all apps yet, especially, which is weird, in Waze. So when we tap on that, it just gives us a full screen view, and when we want to put it in split screen view, it just said, well, it isn't supported yet, it's coming soon. So this is of course really weird when you consider that this is an app that's owned by Google. But that's basically it. The performance here again of Android Auto is also quite nice, and this huge screen on the Carpuride system is simply an amazing solution that I really like. And of course we then have the app drawer right here as well for all the other apps. So I'm not quite sure whether we'll just give us a view right here. It isn't really an app. And of course again we have this floating button right here from the Carpuride system to, for example, again choose the volume here of the system. And this is basically it. And my overview of the Carpuride system, I think this new 9-inch system is a huge step forward and just so much better than the 7-inch version. So if you want to pick it up, then definitely make sure to click the link below in the description and let me know what you think of the system. And if you have any questions, of course, always feel free to contact me. I'm glad to help you out. Have a nice day, and I really hope to see you next time.